And public affairs analyst Ambrose Igboke joins me now via Skype from Enugu State to discuss this development. Good to have you join us, Ambrose. On Monday, when the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 released guidelines, they said churches were not going to open, or rather places of worship were not going to open. And then it looks like they bowed to pressure on Tuesday and released guidelines on how places of worship should open, and if at all they do open. What do you make of these guidelines being released?
Well, first of all, I must thank the members of the PTF for the daily briefings. But at this stage, I must say that we have developed the issue of COVID-19 and its effects in Nigeria have developed beyond these daily briefings. I think the briefings should be staggered. They should have more things to tell us before they come out to brief us. So first of all, I advise that the daily briefings should cease, and maybe we should have like weekly briefings where they will have enough facts to bring. Coming to the issue on the table, I think that a lot of these things are not thought through, in my opinion, because there must be a bouquet of issues being stretched, being analyzed, being articulated and given to us, not taking it by piecemeal. For example, what is the rationale behind opening religious places of worship without opening the interstate locking? For example, you open the markets, you say business activities and economic activities can go on, worship places can go on, markets can go on, but you refuse to open the interstate border, the boundaries. So that, for me, doesn't make any strong argument. Because if you say you want to open up the economy, you want to make the economy start again, then people should be allowed to move. Before you can open the intra-economic activities of a state, that means the state must have the capacity to be able to contain or to be able to manage the COVID-19, because the COVID-19 is not going away anyway. So we have to have the capacity to manage it. So which means for you opening up the country, that means we are saying that each of the states have some measurable capacity to handle the issue. So if the states have the capacity to handle them, then open up the state borders so that there can be this discussion, because each state can handle it. But for me, I don't see the rationale behind opening up all the business activities, opening up the churches, opening up the mosque, opening up all the places of worship, opening up markets, and we are not opening up the borders. That, for me, does not add up.
Right, so some of the states also do not want the borders to be open. Let's also make that clear, especially for states that have low infection rate. But states like Lagos are saying places of worship are going to remain closed. But one thing that the PTF said is that the next phase of this ease of lockdown is going to be guided by science and data. When you look at the data, we have cases above 10,000. We're the third highest in the continent. What are your concerns, actually, about these places of worship being open?
Well, it's not about places of worship. My concern exactly is how the PTF is even going about this. For the states who are saying that they don't want to open up, what are the things being put in place? You don't just lock up a city, you don't just lock up a state and do nothing. Where is the testing capacity? Where is the containment capacity? What is the management and capacity? What is the treatment for the symptom? What is capacity do you have? So when you just lock up a state and you're not ramping up all these things, you are not putting it into effective use and trying to gauge the mood of the people, and also trying to provide solutions to containment and other things about COVID-19, then you're not doing anything. It's not enough to just lock down. And I find it a little bit contradictory for the Lagos state government to say, we have opened up all these other places. Then you are not opening up places of worship. Is it not the same congregation of people? Is it not the same massing of people? In fact, people are massed more together in the marketplace than in the churches. The churches have the capacity to even do some kind of social distancing, do some COVID-19 social protocols, but the markets don't. I mean, when you walk into a typical market like my 12 market in Lagos, or a typical main market in any city in Nigeria, they don't have the capacity to have social distancing. But the churches and mosques that have the capacity say they should not open up. So that is a bunch of contradictions as far as I'm concerned. If you are locking up, if you are maintaining the social protocol for COVID-19, then make it at all levels. But this half piecemeal we are doing and denying churches and mosques, and we know how our people are very, very attached to religion and their worship, then we are doing them a disservice, because most of them will even die more of frustration, of depression, of inability to
Ambrose Igboke, I'm afraid we do have to leave it there. Public affairs analyst Ambrose Igboke, many thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.